Hi everyone, it's Jody from An Eye for Beauty, and today is Wednesday, April 7th, 2020, and I'm coming on live to pull a card to see what is one message that we all need to hear for our highest good during this time. We are in such a midst of separation. Two different groups, two different ways of thinking, ways of being, ways of living, ways of feeling, ways of acting. And my intention is to come on here and provide some guidance through that process. And what is one thing that we need to hear for our highest good? And so the card that came out was, we're going through a cycle of transformation. And in the background, you see a lot of darkness, you see a lot of clouds, you see a lot of stuff. But we are going through this process right now. Where do you stand in this process? Are you allowing yourself to receive what you need to receive in order to have a transformation? So I'll give you an example of, this is deep, but what we're really experiencing right now. So people will ask me constantly if I got a jab in my arm. The first thing I want to say to anyone listening to this is it's really crossing over lines. It's really crossing over boundaries. If we forgot, HIPAA was put in place because everybody has the free will right to make their own choice for themselves. And every time someone asks someone what they're doing, it's crossing over that line. People have seemed to have forgotten that, because what has happened through government control and manipulation, everybody seems to think now it's okay to do that, but it's not. And it's not just people doing it, it's doctors, it's dentists, it's whoever you come into contact with. I have clients that this is frustrating them. It's not okay. It is not okay to step over these lines. You know you're not supposed to ask somebody who they voted for. You know you're not supposed to ask somebody, or should I say, when we were going through this last year of people being sick, you weren't allowed to find out who the person was that was sick. No information was given. So why is it now suddenly that people think it's okay to ask if you got a jab in your arm or not? It's not okay. But we have come to this point, a true separation of two sides, where you have a group of people that think it's totally okay. It is the most trending conversation. It's a conversation starter. And then you have the people who know deeply how it's not okay. It is not okay to cross over the line. You do you. And that's all that should matter. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to ask anything. And the thing to ask yourself is, when you're asking that question, why are you asking? Are you asking for sheer being nosy? Are you asking for a concern for yourself? Are you asking for a concern for humanity? Because if you are, this is not helping humanity. It is not helping humanity to cross over boundaries at all. So this process that is occurring over the last year, this cycle that we're living over the last year, the goal of it was to create a transformation. I know that one of the hopes that I had, because I always try to lean towards the positive, was that through this process of being home and not being in the rat race and not going all the time, it would allow people the opportunity to go within, to start to learn about themselves, their families, their children, their spouses, whatever. But then what I heard was a lot of people were not doing that. They were numbing themselves with alcohol, with food, with Netflix, with other things. And so we have now these two groups of people. The people that maybe finally did those things internally for themselves, to connect with themselves, to connect with their creator, God, to connect with their higher self, to connect. And then you had those that did not. There is no right or wrong here, but this is what has occurred. The moral of this message for today, April 7th, 2021, a full year and 1 month since this all began, is where are you in your transformation? Are you giving yourself the opportunity? Do you want to? Because there are conversations that I've heard and have had where people just deflect. They don't want to talk about anything, which is totally fine, and that's their right. And that's the point to what I said earlier. Everybody has the right to say and not say anything. As long as you are not hurting yourself or hurting another in a real way, you have your own free will to be, do, and act any way that you choose is the best and highest good for you. So we're transforming as an earth, as a human collective. And are you in that process? From last year, I would always say, are you part of the problem? Are you part of the solution? Where are you in that? The solution is allowing yourself the transformation. The solution is allowing yourself to connect with yourself, to learn about yourself, to dig in deeply and feel those feelings that you haven't felt your whole life, the traumas and the wounds that you buried deep, that you didn't allow in. Maybe you're a churchgoer, but you weren't really connected to Jesus and God the way that you perhaps need to be. The real connection, because in that connection, you know you're safe. You know you're sovereign. There's not a crack in that foundation or that belief at all, because you know that you're going to be fine and you're going to be strong, and you have the courage and the strength and the protection you need to get through each and every day. So we're going through this transformation, and where are you in that transformation? Is your head in the clouds? Is your head in the sand? Or are you actually allowing yourself the opportunity that was given to us in this last year to go through the transformation? I've seen many people that have been, but I've also seen many people that have not. And you're doing yourself a service if you allow yourself to go through the transformation. So let's just pull one more card before we close this reading up today, just to see if there's anything else that is needing to be said. Okay, and it's just a continuation. It's the vast universe. And what this card is saying is part of the transformation, the biggest piece of this transformation is what I just said, connecting with your Creator. Are you doing that? Are you allowing yourself the opportunity? You know, there are people that are just living on earth and being very, what's called three-dimensional. And that's a linear way of being, thinking, they said it on TV, I have to do it, I have to listen, I have to be controlled, I'm being manipulated, I have so many fears, I'm so worried, I have to do what they say. And then there are the people that are saying, wait a minute, let me put on my critical thinking cap. Let me think about this. How does it make me feel? What am I doing this for? Who am I serving in doing this? Or acting like this? Or being like this? Who is it serving? Who do you think it's serving when you're listening to the news? It's not serving us. It is serving the darkness. And when you connect to your Creator and start your transformation process, you begin to unravel and really see that little by little by little. And it's not something you can just explain to everybody else. You have to walk through that process. Walk through the process, through the clouds, to get to the other side where the light is. That's the transformation. So this message is saying to you basically today, I hope that if you're listening to this, you're in the transformation process. We're all in a transformation process, but the true transformation is going through the darkness and getting or believing, even if you're not there yet, that on the other side there will be light and it will be good and it will be okay. That's the biggest part of this process. And if you're walking through it, kudos to you. You're doing a great job. And I'm sending you love and light. Have a great day. Bye-bye.